Well, good morning, everyone. Welcome, and welcome to Mr. Kincaid. Well,
Everybody!
this is attempt number 2. I can pretty much promise there won't be a third. So, we are
I have
attempting.
altered the deal. Pray I don't alter it. Yeah. That's what's happening.
Yeah, so this is a Andy Cap Bill Ministry of Reconciliation Central specific stream. We tried to do this yesterday. They disappeared. We went ahead and hid the stream because we talked about things that we don't want to let out of some possible antics. And then, of course, we're doing this again, attempting to again today. So
if you were a patron, you might still be able to see it. If you,
that's true. That's true. If only, yeah.
Yeah. Oh my God! If only.
Oh, come on, Gord. Yeah.
He just messaged me 5 minutes ago. So he's like, "Any idea when this is happening?" And I go, "About 5 minutes ago."
So, and that was Andy Cap?
That was Andy Cap. Yeah, sure
okay,
was.
so we're just waiting for Andy Cap then to show up here and get this whole situation finalized and for him to give his thoughts on this situation.
Me and Smokey had a conversation about Jesus. And if you were a patron for $8, I think is what we settled on.
Yes. I still need to set that up, by the way. You
could have been involved in the conversation. We were talking about whether spirit matter was a thing and holy cum.
Yes, we were talking about whether or not God had spooge when he was impregnating
and
Mary.
The angel of the Lord. Is that Jesus? Speaking of angels, look at fuck me. Everything's look at that.
I should do a whole etymology thing of how the angel of the Lord is Jesus. I should probably do that. I mean, everyone does that at some point, so.
I'm going to tell you how this fucking angel is Jesus. Say he had the same cock shape. Here we go.
Andy's here. There he is.
Hello? Hello, guys?
Oh, well, it's not actually Andy.
Shut you fucking ass. He got us.
He got us. We were waiting for Andy. Yep, he got us.
How are you guys doing?
Okay.
Doing all right, Will. How are you?
I'm doing fine. I was just thought of a little joke this morning about being handicapped.
Yeah, handicap.
Yeah, we saw that.
Yeah, I would be handicapped, but I wouldn't be a universalist.
We're attempting to lay out, I guess, some sort of YouTube truce, which, by the way, is just cringy enough as it sounds. Frankly, I don't give a flying crap about any of these people or their emotional states. But for the sake of attempting to at least want to abide by some semblance of higher Christian meta ethics, I'm going to go ahead and abide by this ridiculous.
There's gonna be some
emotion pandering nonsense.
There's gonna be some rules and stipulations. So.
Yeah, I've seen that yesterday, man. That guy's, what is his name again? Irenic, something like that, in Bug.
Irenic, yeah, Irenic's a real dumb one.
Look at me. Yeah.
Ironic polygamy. Yeah.
Honestly, at this point, Bob just shows sign of, how he rejects. How there's a Bible verse where it says that they don't want to be rebuked by the scripture,
instructed or corrected or anything like that. Yeah. Oh well, there's the actual handicap. There he is.
Hey.
Oh, there we go. Because Will fucking trick us. All right, hold on. Let me wear my big boy glasses. All right.
Make sure you have that big, goofy, stupid grin on your face for the rest of the show too, Andy. Do us all a huge favor.
Oh, I thought you were talking. Anyway,
it's my birthday today. I'm 70 years old today.
Yeah, are you? Yeah, how about that?
56, actually. I'm in the middle of...
You look horrible for your age.
It's all right. I always look like this.
You look like you've aged a lot like milk.
I look like this when I was born.
He has no more hair.
All right,
so there's Kincaid's back end there for my particular YouTube channel, which of course Kincaid has full access to. Kincaid, you can do your magic.
I want Smokey.
Okay, now what? Was it part of the deal? Why are you altering the deal? All right.
Okay, I didn't sign any.
You want me to have to press the button?
If you want to, only if you want to. Okay. If I would say if you do press it, delete it, and if you've got any uploads, any backups
as far as I know, you can't delete. There's no delete function.
There is.
It's all.
There
I
is
mean, I
a delete
can-
function.
There is, yeah.
But
there is
I'm going
one.
to tell you something, Andy. That first of all, that's not what we agreed with. Number two, I'm going to tell you something. As long as Bill wants to play like a good boy, because I'm going to tell you something, Andy. I'm wise to you and Bill and Ryan and Vicky and all the crap you boys do. And see, here's I'm going to tell you something. So I'm not putting it past the idea that Bill will decide to poke at me from periphery by inspiring others while he sits there with that big, stupid, shit-eating grin on his face, denying that he's doing anything at all. So
Right.
I'll tell you what. I'll tell you what we're going to do. We're going to do as a sign of good faith, Andy, is that we're deciding to actually hide the video because we don't have to do it at all. In fact, we could not only hide the video, not hide the video, we could re-upload it. And also, I'll dig even
you
deeper.
could do that.
I'll dig even deeper with the type of crap that Will Kincaid and I talked each other out of not saying. So we're willing to try and have a little bit of a meeting of the minds here with a common ground. But if you start trying to throw some sort of big dick energy around, you're just going to get it straight chopped off. So do you want to have this situation where we're hiding the video under a sign of good faith that you guys are going to stop your bullshit, or do we just proceed?
Will's laughing. Can we at least take the piss out of each other in a satirical, nice way, like you do?
If you do to me, then I will return the favor. It is that simple, just like I did before. See, here's the problem, Andy. You guys want to play the game.
Time out. A second.
So here's what's going to happen. We're definitely going to continue to take the piss out of each other.
Yeah, okay, that's fine.
But we're gonna try to keep it kosher here. In the meantime,
just leave family members out. Leave family members out of it. That's fine. Just take the piss out of each other in a friendly manner.
Won't even mention anyone's wives or daughters or sons or whatever the fuck. That's fine. As long as it's a mutual thing, and we're not talking about pee-pee touching and all that shit on your end.
Just like keep it funny, but just don't go into obscenity. And you can make like funny pictures, alter each other's faces and stick teeth on it and stuff like that.
I have a problem with this already, in the sense that this is now going to be enforced by a perspective of arbitrary, vague values, which neither side is necessarily seemingly going to be able to discern or necessarily always operate with a clear understanding of what's being expressed here. So,
well, I'll give Andy an example of something that Smokey might say to see if that's still kosher under these terms. So, like a whore of the flesh in terms of scripture, is that acceptable?
No. Well, no. Well, just have fun. Oh,
I have a lot of fun making fun of you.
Take the piss out of each other, but just don't go into places like people's family members and keep it relatively clean. We ought to have written down really a load of kind of rules and regulations. Yeah, relatively.
Well, by the way, had you done that and brought it into the room, I would have informed you.
Okay,
tell me sideways up your stupid ass. So I'm glad you didn't do that.
Tell me what is the worst thing which personally I've done. What can you hold me to account for? And I'll apologize right now.
Sure. Pure, unbridled, disgusting, amoral hypocrisy for months. The desire to want to save all of your rebukes for me and none of them for your friends who were doing everything I was doing, arguably worse than me, depending on who you ask. So
I've come up against Bill before years ago. We reconciled our differences. Same with Rob Reed, Six Shades.
So you just don't call them out for anything anymore, then?
And you're just another one on that list. We're having an argument at the moment. Give it
Andy,
give it a few years. Give it a few years, and we'll be the same.
Okay,
we'll be friends.
Here's the problem. Let me make something very clear then. Maybe we already have a false pretense here. Andy, I despise every single component of you. Everything that makes up you,
that's fine,
is hold on, just let me finish. Right. Everything that makes up you, from your physicality to your actual character to the
I can't do anything about my physicality.
That makes me just completely repulsed. Okay. I've no desire to have any reconciliation with you until you reconcile to God and stop your blasphemous, damnable heresies. And see, up until that point, you are going to be a bastion of ridicule and mocking and laughing. Okay. And that's of your choice. Now, you choose to be that when you engage in these environments with bad arguments and garbage theology.
All right. I won't pay back evil with evil.
Oh, so you finally do recognize it as something that shouldn't be repaid because it is evil, while you were fine with that for months.
No, the Bible just says...
Now you finally think it's evil.
What evil have I caused you?
Wait, so what I do... Give me an
example. Give me an example, a timeline on a video somewhere.
Well, hold on. So when I do it, it's evil, but when Bill does it, it's just satire. Is this the argument?
Well, I think when you go into family members and stuff like that, it's pretty hurtful. Any normal kind of a person wouldn't do stuff like that, and even...
Would a normal person attempt to take the testimony of a Satanist to try to slander someone as a pedo? Would a good person do that there, Andy?
I don't know what you're talking about, sorry.
Really?
Yeah.
You see, this is the problem, Mr. Kincaid, is we're not going to have any honesty with these scumbags, so there's no real level to trust them with it. Andy, let me tell you something.
Fine.
Let me tell you something. I didn't dig in on you or Bill as much as I could have. And by the way, might I add, the only reason this is happening right now is because you guys decided to play a game you couldn't win. And so you started playing the game with me of attempting to attack me personally, go after me personally, undermine me personally.
What did I do?
You participated with the people that were doing this. You can deny it all you want, Andy.
What did I do? Andy, give me a timeline. What did I say? Timeline video. Let's go from there.
I know you feel nice and comfy because Bill constantly deletes his streams after they're done. But you know what? Just because I'm not allowed to talk in them doesn't mean I don't see what's happening. Okay, you have been perfectly fine engaging in all manner of ridicule, mockery, attacks, which, by the way, you call evil. Yet you're perfectly fine indulging it, watching it, participating in it.
I just want to know what I've done
with Ryan. Well, how about that time that Ryan said, "Well, I've only heard Andy teach Christ crucified," and isn't it funny? Excuse me.
Jesus talk to?
Can I remind you of a joke?
All the time. Can I not at least?
Can I remind you of a joke that you and Bill made that you thought was absolutely hilarious? Can I remind you?
Go on.
When I did the stream about Muhammad, and you guys thought that was real funny. Do you remember why?
I can't remember the stream.
Of course you can.
Remember,
because you're a brain-dead, mentally worthless, sycophantic, duplicitous, lying sack of subhuman shit, Andy. And that's why I don't really care about reconciliation with you or your little group of clowns. In fact, I'm going to be honest with you. You know what, Andy? This was Will Kincaid asking me to consider this because as far as I'm concerned, you can all go sit on it. I don't give a crap about any of you degenerates. And frankly, as far as I'm concerned, all of you are fit and worthy of mockery and ridicule so that people recognize you as the complete and utter mental catastrophe that you are, so that there's less risk of them possibly being emotionally leveraged or manipulated to falling into your damnable heresies. Now,
well, so here's what I think we should do. What is the value to you, Smokey, of us removing? Because it's obvious what Bill and Andy are getting out of this. The video is not going to be on YouTube. What would be of equal value to this action that you could get out of that?
There isn't really. I think what this was an opportunity to show a sign of good faith that I'm fully well they won't follow through with at all whatsoever. Because I know Bill and I know the reputation for Bill. And the reputation for Bill is to send people like Ryan, the Predatortarian, out to go and infiltrate groups to try to shoehorn in and cause discord and drama and difficulty.
That was the other thing that we did.
Bill has done this for years, for decades. And this is the thing. See, like, Bill is going to be able to have this perspective of like, well, everything's cool on the surface, while behind the scenes, he's sending a bunch of goddamn trash clowns at me all the time. So that's really ultimately what it comes down to, is that Bill is not going to let this go. Bill is a unrighteous, disgusting, amoral scumbag of a human being. So I don't trust him to be in any semblance of showing any real Christian ethics at all. He's a fraud. He's a fraud. So I'm not expecting honesty or decency out of him.
What are you then? If Bill's a fraud, what are you?
Well, Bill has no semblance of theology. Bill is essentially a hyper grace pluralist. I mean, he's completely retarded.
Even worse than that.
Hey, by the way, Andy, he validates Jack Smack. He calls him a brother. Now, I wouldn't in a million years feel comfortable calling someone like Jack Smack a brother. I mean, that guy is so way out and left field of soteriology it blows my mind.
His
Bill likes
might not align with other people's, but it doesn't mean to say that he's not saved.
He doesn't align. Doesn't align. Yeah. He literally says you have to basically live like the devil. If you try to obey God, you're going to go to heaven. You're going to go to hell.
If you got the wrong doctrine,
that guy's nuttier than
you can believe in Christ. Andy. If you got the wrong doctrine but believe in Christ and giving your life over to Christ, that means you're going to go to the booty place.
No, I don't see any of. If you accept the gospel, if you start strong, excuse me, let me finish, Andy. Shut the hell up. If you start strong, much like Saul, because the Holy Spirit departed Saul. Remember that passage? The Holy Spirit departed Saul because he reached a certain point that God would no longer dwell with him.
Yeah, it's in the Old Testament.
And we are the temple. We are the temple of the Holy Spirit. God dwells with us. Don't you think that just like with the Jews, when they sinned a certain point and lived in their sin and rejected God up to a certain point, that he departed them? Isn't that what God, the Spirit of God, did?
Still under the law.
That's what happened. God departed.
Is people? Am I free to jump in real quick or you guys are having a one-on-one?
No, I guess if you want to say something.
Yeah, quickly, and then we'll proceed with negotiations again.
Yeah, I just wanted to say on Jack's Mac. I mean, if he called this guy's a brother in Christ, I mean, there's definitely a problem because he literally says you have to sin to go to heaven. So he's literally trying to justify his sin. So that's not a brother in Christ.
So, so Smokey.
Here's the thing. Here's what it comes down to, Will, and I'm just going to lay it out here. Okay.
Okay, good, because that's what
people. All right. Here's what. Yeah, I'm going to try to just lay it out here right now. I'm just going to say, let's take the video down and hide it in good faith. But here's the thing. I have no confidence in these human beings at all, whatsoever. And I'm going to tell you something that I'm not going to stop exposing them, and they can keep talking to me, and if they decide that they're going to cross a line, I'm not going to feel obligated to not be able to do the same, because here's the thing. The whole problem up to this point has they want to play certain games with me, and then I say, okay, let's play the game, and then I show that I can play it better, and then they lose, and then they start crying, and that's what happens. Okay. All right, let's put him on mute. So that's basically what's going on. So the way that I see it, I have no reason to have any confidence in anything these scumbags say, and I certainly am not going to stop exposing them for the reprehensible trash they are. So as far as I can tell, while I'm willing to take this video down as a sign of good faith for them to step the hell back off of me, I know they're not going to. And I know I'm going to have to probably in perpetuity point out things about these detestable degenerates that is just essential for the benefit of the community. This is the problem. I can't actually have a reconciliation with non-Christians lest I tacitly be approving their heresies and perversions. Andy, Bill, Jack, Smack, heck, even Ryan the Presbyterian at this point are all completely theologically sick and cancerous. So that is not going to change until they repent. And what ultimately needs to have for the sake of actual reconciliation is them repenting of their attacks and perversions against God. And since I don't see this happening, I'm wondering how valuable doing this even actually is at all. So I'll yield with that.
Andy, that would probably be your turn. You're muted because your mic was hot a minute ago.
You were yelling at people,
I've it's my birthday. I got people coming around for a bit of a gathering. I'm just trying to prepare stuff. Smokey, so your doctrine has kind of changed, isn't it, over the years? You've obviously gone from, we're all in kind of growth, aren't we? So we're not in stasis with our faith.
You're not.
Okay, well,
you've been in the same heresy for well over a decade, arguably, as you
15
said. 20
years, actually.
Yeah, that's incredible.
More than
the fact that you haven't grown out of a damnable heresy in that amount of time, you're screwed. I'm not. I have changed. You're right, Andy. I have shifted. You haven't. You are stagnant.
Right. Okay.
Like
I preach. What's so damnable about my particular understanding of Scripture then?
How about the full-blown rebellion to the statements of God about soteriology, the nature of salvation, and of course also judgment? You're basically removing.
So are you saying
all of the statements of judgment?
Hang on a minute. You've asked me. You thought you yielded. Does that mean I can talk?
You asked me a question.
Yeah, but okay, but I I got other things to say as well because I got stuff going on here.
Well, you can piss off on down the river for all I care, Andy.
So do you not think that with God all things are possible? Are you saying that his power is now limited? Is that what you're thinking?
Is a square circle possible?
And I'm pretty sure that me and him had this argument this morning about.
And if
what is the definition of omnipotent?
If God wants everyone to come to the knowledge of the truth,
wait a minute,
and it's His will. I'm asking other questions, okay?
Oh boy!
So you're basically
just going to run right past that one.
A bit of a snake in the garden there, doubting God's word, because God wants all people to come to the knowledge of the truth.
Well, God can't do things, at least as far as I understand, that betray His own nature.
Yeah. Exactly.
So God wants. So we worship a God which is almighty and all powerful.
See, Andy doesn't even know
with God.
What classical theism even is. So
is
God
not going
can
very
God
well,
lie?
Is it?
Can God lie?
No.
And then He can't do all things by your definition.
He can't do all things, like you said. So
yeah, me and Smokey actually had a long, protracted conversation about this.
He can't lie because his very nature is that he doesn't
well,
lie.
That's what
his
we're
very
getting
nature
at.
is God. Yeah.
He can't.
But we understand that. We understand that God cannot lie.
Oh my God, he's so stupid.
Okay, well, it's pretty pointless, isn't it? Me just coming on here trying to talk to you. You just can't get an adult conversation. You just got to go into diatribes of
bullshit. See, dude, Will, I can't do this with him.
That's what you got to do.
Yeah,
but you won't listen. You don't shut up for a minute. Let me bloody talk.
It's comical
you always
theism.
Talk over me. Well, but only because I'm going to show you up for the.
Andy, I already pointed out
misunderstanding of scripture.
Andy, we literally just made fun of you for the premise you presented, and you can't even.
And that's all you want. You just want people to come on here.
You can't even
take the piss out of them, isn't it? That's all you want.
Hold on, Andy.
That's all you.
I'm going to talk
to
you like.
Keep the video up. Shove up your fucking ass because I can't be bothered with shit stains.
Oh, outstanding. Okay, we'll dig even deeper then, Andy. I promise. Okay, he wants it that way.
He had it. Now it's okay. Whatever.
What's that video? What's that video he's talking about?
You know, this is why, Will, I'll be honest with you, Will, and I wasn't going to necessarily say this, but this is the fact of the matter of how this was inevitably going to go. And I'm going to tell you something.
I don't understand that. He literally just had it. He could have said, okay, take the video down. I'm going to go out. But instead, I don't get it.
Exactly.
Whatever.
Exactly. And well, this is the point of it. This is the point of it. And this is why these people have ended up on the list or in the position that they've been in, because this is their character profile. They're not going to change. They're not going to repent. They're not going to improve. See, Andy opened with the point that tanked everything he was going to say after that. And he was too stupid to catch it. He said, look, Smokey, I've noticed that you've changed, you've grown, you've improved. I said, yes, thank you. You haven't. You have stayed inside the same damnable, detestable, rebellious heresy for 15 years. I have improved. I don't believe the same things I believed when I grew up in the faith. I don't even believe the same things I believed a year ago. I used to be very sympathetic to maybe oneness or Arians being saved. I used to be very sympathetic to annihilationism. I used to be very sympathetic to a lot of things that I'm not anymore because I recognize the dangers of them now. I've seen what people do with these minor little heresies that we look at and think, well, that's not a big deal. And then you start asking them questions and they'll say something insane like, yeah, God could make mistakes. This is why you have to ask questions. This is why you have to dig into these differences, because many times
I gotta say something because I'm kind of fucking really pissed off about this right now.
All right, go ahead.
Because I went out of my way to hear not just Andy but Bill out, who hates me, who wouldn't be in a room with me. They made emotional appeals. They tried logical appeal. They appealed to me in every way that they could, and I said, all right, I'll tell you what. I'll go talk to Smokey. You and I have an hour, 2 hour long conversation about this, and that we would put. You said, okay, we'll put something on the table because I don't trust them to follow through. And if I just take this video down, then it's just that what? Then I caved.
I just
for
gonna
no
be the
reason.
same old crap for no reason at all.
And I gotta tell you, I went to excruciating. I mean, we did this whole fucking thing yesterday. I know nobody really understands this, but
I didn't want to do this. This was Will's thing, and he came to me saying, "Let's try to do a sign of like good Christian." By the way, the Jew came to me and said, "Let's try to do something as a sign of good Christian faith." Yeah, get your brains on that one, you freaking degenerates.
I like that. This whole thing was like, okay, let's try to see if we can work something out, because you guys don't like Smokey, but you'll talk to me. You and I, me and Andy and all those, Bruce and all those guys, we've had several conversations, and people have disagreed, and we have fun and shit like that. I come on and play my fucking Fendi, and while I'm high, great, wonderful. So I figured, well, if anybody's going to negotiate this so that everyone's comfy again, it's going to be me. And there was a respectful exchange. And then I know you hate Smokey, guys, but you guys seem to at least have some level of respect for me. And I hate to be this guy, because I'm usually not, because I don't get offended by much, but I'm actually kind of fucking offended by this. I feel really fucking disrespected that I went to this much trouble and set up that stream yesterday and the whole and now we're here again. You literally just had the ball and you just dropped it for no reason. I don't, and not for account of nothing. I mean, I literally spent time that I could have spent sleeping or with my fucking wife, because I thought that this was important, because you were like, well, this family's been hurt, and I kind of, I have some kind of a soft spot in my little black heart. And I was like, okay, fine. And then now I feel fucking manipulated because you fucked it on purpose.
It was never going to stop, Will. It was never going to stop, and that's
it's
the
like
point.
The Von Helton thing. I felt bad for Von, and then he fucked me. He fucked me. And I literally, like,
it was never going to stop with them. You could tell because what I was expecting Andy to say when he came in is like, okay, take the video down. We're not going to talk about you. Because I haven't been talking about them.
That's what I thought was going to happen.
I don't do streams about them. I don't. Okay. I've done like 1 or 2 videos about them, and that is like it. I don't talk about them. I don't bring them up unless they show up here. Okay. However, Bill does a stream about me every other freaking day. So I have just been looking at this as well. Maybe Andy's going to come in and say, hey, I'll tell you what, let's do peace. Take the video down, and Bill's just going to stop doing streams about you. We're going to move on to other stuff.
They're still going to bitch about me and you and our business arrangement and how the 50-50 works and all that shit. And they bitch about, well, are you doing it for money and this, that, the other thing?
Part of it, yes. And you know why? Because kids are expensive. And Will's got one on the way.
Said.
I mean, is that such a freaking monstrous thing to want to try to find some way to engage in some capitalism in this environment to help out Will's soon-to-be-born child?
Smokey has something. This is how the videos work and how our stream works stuff. Smokey or I, but on Smokey's channel, it's obviously Smokey. Smokey will have something to say, and then I'll make it punchy and colorful, and I might even help add dialogue or something.
Jew wizardry, we call it.
So I sit here and I'm editing and sort of co-producing some of this content, and then you're like, well, cut off your nose to spite your face. And I'm like, well, give me a reason not to do that, and then you do this, which gives me another reason to just keep doing it. And then I don't really want to hear you complain about it when it's like I went completely out of my fucking way to set this up and do this twice now, and it's whatever.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Will. I knew this was probably going to happen, but I told you this was maybe going to happen. That he was going to come in, he was going to change the arrangement, he was going to start mentioning other videos, he was going to start talking about, wow, we're still going to talk about Joe. I told you this was going to happen. I told you he wasn't going to stick to it. These people are scumbags. They're duplicitous.
I'm trying very hard to be America and just be like, listen, diplomacy first, although that's probably not how America really works. But anyway, it's what we try to do. Excuse me. We try diplomacy first, and now it's like, okay, now what kind of fucked up hateful video am I gonna
Why do they have to sit there and say like they have to keep doing satire on me? Why does that even have to be a thing when I don't do videos on them? You see, here's the thing. You know what I can do to stop doing videos on them? Literally just not do any videos on them like I've constantly been doing. And then we have the other side of it.
Is this Salvific again?
I don't know. Let me see. Nope, that's actually Wild Eden. Nope, that's actually her.
Oh, yeah, I do have a couple of questions. Can you not talk or...
Eden, we can't hear you with your mic. Yeah, there it is. Hi. All right, there it is.
Yeah, I do have a... Sorry, yeah, we tried to do this yesterday. Oh, good. We're going to get everything out of the way. Stop it, Smokey. Get some help. I got to talk to Wild Eden about it.
All right, you do that. Go ahead.
So what is it about... by the way, hi. I hope you're having a lovely day. What is it about my...
work?
Yeah, me too, a couple hours ago. So what is it about my channel that turned off? Is it my association with Smokey? Is it some of the more dark satirical stuff I do, like when I put a cat in a sock and used it to make applesauce? Is it
the
my language? It's entirely to do with Smokey.
Yeah.
There's nothing else that you can think of.
Well, I come from an older generation, so we don't kind of address people in the same way as you do on your channel.
Yeah, I like direct, just like
to be honest.
Yeah, somebody,
I'm actually going to do my first open live stream later this week, just to address a few issues.
Okay, perfect. Do you mind if I'm there?
Clear up a few things. I do have you blocked, but I'll unblock you.
Okay. So I assume I was blocked because of my association with Smokey too. That's about the side.
Yeah, but the first sort of channels I started watching was Nokasuchi's and sort of got into that. I'm more atheist than anything else. I just think he's been going through a hard time. And just to be honest, I think the ice cream cone thing is very malicious, because I don't see anything wrong with the photograph on his Facebook page. It's an innocent photograph of a father and daughter, and anything else that people are seeing is from their own sick minds.
Oh, no, I'm not saying that he's a pedophile or he's incestuous. I mean, he did.
That's what you've all been saying.
No, I'm insinuating that the way he engages physically with his daughter, let's say, is weird. I've never been.
How do you know in which way he physically interacts with his daughter from one photograph on his Facebook, which shows nothing, but shows nothing at all. Any normal, reasonable person would see nothing wrong with that photograph.
I don't know. We asked a lot of people. We asked people. We literally
asked a lot of people. How many people? What survey have you done?
I want to say something so bad.
Give me 1 second. Well, we haven't done a proper double-blind survey on a handful of photographs of kissing. The daughters kissing, or their fathers kissing their daughters.
Can we get a grant?
But there were Christians that said it's not weird. I think this one guy was one of them. And then we asked a whole bunch of people. I think we've probably asked upwards of 50 people. I pulled people who don't watch my show that I know in my personal life. I said, is it weird to kiss your daughter on the mouth like this? Because it wasn't just a little peck in the photograph.
How do you know it was more than a little peck? Because it looks
because
like
when we blew it up,
because somebody was actually there taking a photograph.
Yeah,
somebody was actually there asking them to pose for a camera. So I don't buy it. I'm sorry, Will Smokey, I don't buy the spin. It's malicious.
It's not a spin. It's how we explained it the first time.
It's a malicious spin.
It's how we explained it the first time. J-Dubs was the one who said that he fucking that Knock is incestuous. J-Dubs is out of his fucking mind. He says wild.
Knock is not incestuous, and that other bit of nonsense about his mother's daughter or whatever that was also just a slip of the tongue that anybody could make on live stream.
But it's
that does not indicate an incestuous relationship either.
Not only, I didn't say it does. It was funny that he said it though, and then when we said it to banjos and crickets,
daughter of my mom, because I was making out with her. What? Like, no, I fucked her.
It's how he's saying it.
Yeah. Just a slip of the tongue.
It was still funny.
It's malicious. What you're doing is malicious, and that's what's turned me off.
Well, this is what I'm. The other thing too is that you should be turned off a Knox channel too, because now he's willingly engaging in what he considers to be the same behavior.
And was this unprovoked? He's done this out of the blue.
It's been going on for the better part of almost 2 years now between us, and up until there was a point where it was sort of playful dicking with each other, and then his backing of Peterson saying that I said things I didn't say. There's a whole episode on that. I won't get into it because you could just, if you were really interested, you could go watch it. It was his saying that I said all kinds of racist, hateful things, and then he points out which stream it is, so I go to the stream, and I find nothing of that playing, sometimes the entirety of it. With his backing of Peterson putting words in mouth and then lying about me, that started this whole thing, and it escalated from there. Not to mention the handful of things that he's done to my friends who were much prior to that, but were the original inflammatory thing between me and him directly. Like, for example, I had a friend named Knives. I said this before. We had a drinking contest. You were probably around during those days, and we were drinking a liter of label, and Knock was supposed to take the proceeds from that stream and donate it to my friend who was dying slowly of cancer and a couple of other things, because he couldn't afford his medication, and he doesn't have a support unit that had like a supportive system, like a family that could help him. So I decided I was going to do this, and those monies were never allocated to the main question, Knives, who we did it for. So anyway, that was another thing. Saying, threatening my friend Lo, threatening, and then getting in a verbal altercation with my friend Kat over the same thing because they were dating at the time. The sonogram stalking my wife, basically. Although some people choose to not associate it as stalking. Fine, it was at least creepy and weird, and she had nothing to do with it. But then also not fact checking before he told God and everybody that I had a child, which was I fully intended to keep a secret as long as humanly possible. I told next to no one, and he publicized that information anyway, until the point where we couldn't deny it anymore because he was getting ready to say, well, he was gonna publicize how he got it, and then he did. He said, I got it off her Facebook page, and then this is how I did it. So there's that. I can keep going, but it's been a constant just I mean, it could be with me and Smoke. There's literally, and I have a playlist, it's the Knockiversary episode at the bottom, of 161 hours, 39 minutes, and 6 seconds of nonstop Smokey content. I'm not talking about content where he tacitly interjects Smokey into it, no, I'm talking about things with, and Smokey's my friend, of course, so you stand up for your friends. That's how it's done in America.
Yeah, that's why I'm here, Will, because I'm standing up for Nokasuchi. Because I think what you guys are doing is totally malicious. You're not an angel, neither Smokey Saint.
No, I didn't say I was, but I've given him. I gave him opportunity. I gave him opportunity to bury the hatchet, which was the whole point of
believe in God. That's anyway.
The whole intention with me going on
Knox. I want a piece of this dumb bitch, please, Will. You got to finish up with it.
I'm almost done. I went to Knock with Peace, and he had me on his stream, and he wanted to ask me a bunch of questions. I had questions for him. He called me a piece of shit, and he kicked me off before we could even finish. Just like what kind of analogous to what just happened here, where Andy had exactly what he wanted. The end of the bullshit.
I missed the Andy bit. I didn't see that, so I don't know what happened with Andy.
Well, we were going to private the video, and then he said, never mind, don't private the video, fuck off, and whatever. And that was the end of that. We were literally sitting right here. You could have you said, okay, I've got to go now. Thanks for privating the That could have been the end of it. It could have been the end of it with Knock too, where we sit down and say, listen, let's just fucking keep our names out of each other's mouths and move on. But instead, I gauged the situation. I didn't come in hostile. I was pretty calm through that whole engagement, and he didn't want that either. So here we go, on and on. At this point, I put the ball in his court to end it, and he chose to continue it. So at this point, I don't know what else to do. There's another method he could go. He could beat me in a game of Yu-Gi-Oh! Online. If he wants to be, if we want to do childish things, I suppose we could go to the bottom of the barrel on that one. But other than that, I don't know what else to say about Knock.
Are you aware your mic's like messed up?
Just to address,
I don't know what's going on.
To address Bond's comment, Knock doesn't need me to stand up for him. He does a good job all by himself. But I've been inspired by the courage of this man and other people in the community to stand up against bullying and pure unadulterated malice.
He's the one who started calling me a baby. If you want to talk about who started what, it was Knock. And there's documented evidence.
She said Knock stands up against bullying? He has courage and has courage?
This is like school playground stuff.
I'm 28, he's 43.
Are
you saying
Wow. Nonsense and unnecessary.
I have something.
Knock is 43 years old. I wasn't even born when he was a fully grown adult-ass man. And what you're saying is that basically a man who is almost half his age is bullying him, a fully grown adult with a child and a job, and I am capable of bullying him to the point where
this campaign of phoning up restaurants.
Okay, let me explain that. Because in this video, he said...
You don't need to explain it.
I do actually, because there's explaining.
It explains itself. Your actions explain
itself. Not if you understood. I gotta tell you, he said in that video that he doesn't work at TGI Fridays, so we call TGI Fridays.
Exactly. He literally said he doesn't work there. That's why we called there. And then he's like, they tried to dox my work. We knew you don't work.
We knew we weren't gonna.
Stupid nuts.
He's literally invited people to do these kinds of things. And we've only shown it. 4 months before he had accused us of doxing. He invited people to come with a Facebook page. He invited people to go to his public Facebook page, and he even called it public. We've played that video many times. And what I'm saying is, I think, Eden, you've been misled. I think that's the problem. I think that Knock is putting on a set boy routine to try to get people to feel bad when he's just as much a party of this as any of us involved.
Yeah,
I wonder of friends more than I trust you guys, because I know you lie.
I wonder if this is considered bullying. By the way, the mother of his child.
Do you think Noctel is honest? Like, give me a break.
And you are.
Well, that would be PMAR.
I'm honest, yeah, because no one likes me. That's a good indicator.
That was probably a pretty good indicator. That's true. Oh, someone came back. Look who came back. We're about to show Wild Eden this thing.
What the hell is that?
That's a different Andy. That's some sort of alternate generation or something of Andy. I think it's a kid because of the birthday situation.
Probably.
Do you want to say something, bro?
I'm just listening to you guys.
All right.
Well, you don't have to like literally be in the room to. Oh wow, it's a whole family of big brains. This is what's going on.
Are you there to save?
Are you there
to save Andy's life?
Wait a minute. Hold the phone. Didn't he just say?
Wait, this is a rare opportunity. Don't waste this opportunity.
I need to. I'll be right back. You guys are gonna make me have a stroke.
Okay. Okay. Here we go. All right. So, are you Generation 2 or Generation 3 of Andy?
That's a good question. I don't know, really. It depends how generations work.
Same accent, same everything. Oh my gosh, it's creepy. It's
gonna
like he just like de-aged like 30 years or something. You should have come in and done that bit.
Do you get to inherit
I made a prayer, and now I'm 40 years old, younger, and now I'm going to spread my poison all over the world about the universalism, I tells you. I know that's a bad accent. I'm already aware of that. I'm just having fun with it. I apologize if that wasn't particularly obtuse. Are you Andy's son, grandson?
Yes. No, I'm his son.
Okay, son. Okay, excellent. Okay, well that's really interesting. Thank you for appearing. I guess, is there anything you want to contribute? Because if not, we're going to move back to the Eden situation.
No, you guys carry on. I've just come to listen in, really.
Okay, cool. All right, beautiful, excellent. Okay, so Eden, I wanted to ask you a question. Do you remember all the times that, well, not maybe all the times, but certainly I saw you give money to Knock on several different occasions. And do you recall where Knock would make the statement along the following lines of, hey, I am doing this all on my own, or I am raising this kid or doing this, kind of all on my lonesome single dad versus the world type thing. Do you remember all that?
Yeah, I remember all that, and I remember your responses to all that. So I'm well aware of the history and the back and forth.
Can you reiterate what my response to that was?
It was some insult to his ex-partner.
Right. I called her a dirty, disgusting, disease-ridden, street-walking crack whore. And that caused a level of obtuse offense in him, which then caused him to come and confront me. Not necessarily.
Yeah, that's a natural reaction.
Not necessarily. No.
Let me. It, Smokey.
Well, no, hold on. Let me reiterate in a different way. Andy, your young Andy, your camera disconnected, so it puts you in the back. You have to turn your cam off or something. No. So the statement was. I made that statement to draw out the prolific lies he was telling the community, grifting his audience by basically degrading the contribution of his baby's mama in his daughter's life in order to get money from his audience. It was a grift, it was a lie, and it was an evil one. So in order to flush that out, I basically presented to him the narrative of the baby's mama that he seemed to be putting out there. Now, let me tell you something personally. I had an uncle who died of alcoholism. Now, if someone was to say to me, your uncle was a stupid alcoholic who drank himself to death, yeah, that's an accurate statement. That's just a statement of truth. Someone levying that opinion, while it might have some sort of emotional pretense attached to it, is an absolute fundamental truth. So all I did was take the narrative that Knock was spoon feeding all of you in the audience. Hey, my baby mama isn't around. I'm doing this all on my own. And I knew this was a lie. I knew it was actually an insult to the woman and her contribution to her daughter's life. And so, yes, I engaged in this antic, if you will, to draw out his lies. And then he did clear it all up. He talked about how she's actually very involved, how the grandparents are also involved and help with babysitting, how the other daughter is now friends with his daughter and they get along well and they're like sisters, and how he gets child support. And all of a sudden, the narrative of him doing this all on his lonesome is suddenly falling apart. So all I did through all of this was attempt to reveal to all of you that Knock has been grifting his audience. Knock has been lying all of you to try and get sympathy, and doing it with a very disgusting way by insulting the contribution of his daughter's mother into the daughter's life in order to get money. Now, it's really gross.
You're such an upstanding member of the community.
Well, it's very gross that even hold on, I'll let you respond. Just let me finish
applause.
This last statement. It's really, really gross that even after I point that out, you guys continue to condone it and let him use his own daughter inside this disgusting, toxic environment as an emotional bargaining chip. You people are rancid and disgusting and have rotten souls. That's why I point you out the way you do, and that's why I give you the labels you do, and that's why I don't give a flying fornicated crap, Eden, what you think about anything. As far as I'm concerned, you're a disgusting, amoral, trash-throat swine of a woman. I'll let you respond. Go ahead.
A responsible parent won't even bring up their child in an environment like this.
Agreed. Exactly. This environment is toxic as hell. I cannot believe the amount of dragging this poor girl into this environment, exposing her to the goings on therein. I cannot believe how incredibly unaware, oblivious, irresponsible
he wants
Knock has been.
All he cares about is YouTube.
To exploit his daughter and
wants to be famous on YouTube,
idiot trash
YouTube
women,
content,
and idiot sycophants like Eden help him do it. Help him exploit his daughter in a toxic environment for what?
Stop. I'm not going to let you speak to me like that.
You horrible,
anymore.
disgusting, amoral bitch.
Shut up. Shut your mouth. I am not letting you get away
I'll
with
say whatever I want
because
because it's my show. It's my show. You dumb slag.
Stop it now.
Bye then. Well, I'm not going to kick you out. You can stick around. Yeah, there we go. We're done. Okay. This is the thing. You're going to come in here and try to moralize over me while you're trying to cover for a grifter, opportunistically using his daughter as a bargaining chip, lying about the history of his baby's mama, lying about whether or not it's even really him. You know, I got to share this with you. Let's watch this. You know what? It's time we rehash a little bit of the content nuke, shall we? Because I think maybe the community has forgotten some of these gems that I specifically put together for all of you. I'm going to put it at 1.25 speed. Let's just watch this.
They got a goldfish memory. You got to remember, people have like the memory.
That's true. Some people do, and some people might be new to the environment, and they might forget all of this. They might have forget what I put together. Now, Eden came in here to begin saying, "Wow, bullying, you've been bullying Knock." Let's see the people that Knock has been bullying, shall we? Let's take a look at this for a little bit.
Not too long ago, Nakasuchi, the raging atheist, threw a man-baby temper tantrum over something that I had inferred about the mother of his child, based upon the information that he had publicly stated and the narrative that he had told to his audience.
Or are you going to justify calling the daughter of my mother a crack whore,
walking stupid,
fucking skink?
Yeah. By the way, Ronnie, in a system, let me go.
No, you don't get to call me Ronnie. You can call me Mr. Rage. Bitch.
Okay, dumb, raging, rat roach.
You get to call me Mr. Rage, cunt.
Hey, the dumb guy that had a spare 20 and got locked up some stupid war on the street corner.
Speak to me, you fucking coward.
In this world, in this day and age,
speak to me, bitch.
You gonna let me talk?
No, I'm not.
In this day and age, where mom
already a Christian. You're a fucking you're not fucking troll. You're a fucking cunt ass.
What type of horrible?
You are nothing. You are fucking nothing. You little fucking cunt. What did you think you was going to accomplish here? You little fucking
bitch. You're in the running for the worst father of the year award, bro. Stay tuned for that. You're gonna love that one.
Are you sterile, Smokey? Can you not have a child of your own? You little fucking bitch.
Oh, this is beautiful. I didn't know this so hard. I didn't know this hit you so hard.
Tell me how Christian it is, New Life and Grace of Christ, for Smokey Saint to here to attack the mother of my daughter, call her a crack whore. Tell me how Christian that is.
Tell me how Christian it is. Yeah, he's not like a comeback, so it's not really smart.
One day in his life with you, and he's making
look what I brought on your channel. I wasn't even going to do a stream tonight.
I knew I was going to catch you, you little fucking cunt. I knew I was going to catch you, you little bitch.
I'm running from you, dude.
All right, well, why don't you come on my channel?
By the way, you are cringe. You are cringe. You talk about
you talk about the mother of my child, and I'm
like he's at war, shots fired, violence. Like, dude, it's YouTube.
Come to Battle Creek, Smokey. Come to Battle Creek, you little fucking bitch. You're going to talk about the mother of my daughter. Come to Battle Creek, you little coward. You Ali G looking little bitch. You look like Ali G. Did your mother fuck Ali G?
How horrible. How horrible.
Did your mother fuck Sacha Baron Cohen? Does your mother love liberals, Smokey Saint?
This is beautiful. This is such a hyper triggering. I haven't gotten this from you.
Hey, Smokey, what do you have to say to the mother of my child that is a Christian and goes to church every Sunday? What do you have to say to her, Smokey?
You know what, Rage? All I have to say is that in this day and age...
Are you sorry for talking to a Christian woman and never to talk to her?
I don't know that she's a Christian. I know none of that. What I do know is
do I need to bring her on a live stream to tell you that she's a fucking Christian, Smokey Saint? Or are you going to judge her because she's left with an atheist?
I wish a motherfucker would, to be honest.
Party definition of
me too.
That's not going to matter. By the way, the Gnostic scumbag right next to you.
Seems like something he would do.
That doesn't mean anything to me at all, Rage. What I do know is that in this day,
what matters to me? Why did you call your mother a whore?
In this modern day and age,
why did you call your own mother a whore?
Where the system is always leaned
Are
towards.
you going to answer me, you little cunt coward?
And you're the one that got custody.
Why did you call your own mother a whore?
Degenerate, low level.
Why did you call your own mother a whore, Smokey?
The actual full custody, bro. That says all about.
He pays perceived evil with the same kind of evil he's offended by and thinks that's good.
Right.
That's
By the way,
problem.
To remind you, one of the core arguments of this was the idea that typically in this country, generally 99% of the time, the woman will always get custody of the child.
I want to remind people also that, by the way, Knives, the man I was talking about before, is dead. He's dead.
He's dead.
The cancer killed him.
Cancer ate him.
We ended up just off screen getting enough money to get. We ended up getting off screen enough money for him to get some of the medication, but he couldn't get full treatment because nobody gave a shit. Everybody knew that he was just this guy who he literally was blown up in war, lost his big chunk of his fucking leg and his ass and his I believe it was his right eye, and he was blown up by an IED, and everyone was just like, yeah, this is fine. Let's watch Will and Rage get drunk while Peterson cheers us on and poorly fucking assesses my blood alcohol content, which was also a piece of irony that was not lost on you people, I hope.
One more time, just to make sure I sell it through. Wild Eden is an evil, amoral horror show of a bitch of reality. She should be ashamed of herself. She should crawl into the gutter that spawned her and never poke her head out ever again if she's gonna help moonlight for grifters and try to protect people who are opportunistically using their children in toxic environments for financial gain. You disgusting, vile, reprehensible. Anyway, that's it.
People wonder why I engage with people online the way I do. It's because every time I've attempted to be diplomatic or offer an olive branch or give people the benefit of the doubt or break, it's fucked me. It's fucked me every single
They always
time.
Turn it into a Shonda. They always turn it into a personal Shonda.
Any names or any, I didn't do anything and just refused to
look
at
your freaking goyish internet. I'm gonna murder it.
I'm sorry. I don't know.
I gotta correct myself. I thought Wild Eden was male. I confused Wild Eden with Wild Heart.
How would that be the case? Oh my goodness, this can't possibly be the case. Oh no, it's just. Oh no, we're just being trolled. Okay.
Is it Bruce?
No.
Is that Bruce? Is that Bruce?
Nah, Bruce.
Is that Bruce?
I was thinking about putting the Raging Atheist, but I'm like, I'm gonna make too much pleasure.
I got copyright strike if we're stealing his logo. He paid money for that.
Oh my god! Am I the Helton?
J.O. Sam spent like 4 hours making that on Photoshop.
Am I the only one hearing Will Kincaid cutting off?
No. I'm trying to. I
don't problems.
I reckon it's probably my internet.
I want to get to more of this where we're going to find out.
There's a connection issue.
Yeah, it's something like that.
That's what I was thinking too. And everything's secure.
Oh, it's so horrible. Okay, so let's play a little more of this because we're going to get to the part that I want to expose that Wild Eden, while claiming they have an issue with us, quote unquote, why you bully me? Why you bully me? We're bullying Knock, Okay, so we're going to see who Knock bullies. We're going to see who Knock was bullying before we came along to start putting Knock in check. Let's just get to this core point. You guys will see what I'm talking about.
Yeah, as I would warn you, this was way smoother than I thought it would be.
You know, it's funny, Rich, I said this months ago.
You said months ago that you're a little fucking, you're a toss your salad little bitch.
You're desperate to have a reaction over something. I think you're
Why do you want to suck my dick? Why do you want to suck my cock without fucking content?
Oh my god, I'm so tight, guys. You guys are gonna make. Are you bald?
I still got my leg, you little cunt. I'm still big enough to whip that ass. Hey, Smokey,
I do have a legitimate question.
Smokey, say, while I got you here, why don't you come to Battle Creek? We'll host a boxing match for charity.
Jay's been quiet this whole time.
How about you? I want you to bring. You don't have to bring your baseball bat. You just bring some boxing gloves, and we'll do it for charity. How about that, you little bitch?
Speaking of charity, we have started a GoFundMe to help out Knock in his time of desperate need. Go take a look. The link is in the description below.
That was a funny bit.
You can help make sure this little girl doesn't end up living in a car like her mother did when she was born.
See, he actually understand that since the moment my mother was born, she lived with me.
Dude,
her mother had issues at the time. We had broken up. She was with a new guy, and her living situation was unstable. So she was like house to house, and sometimes like sleeping in their car. I mean, that's how it goes about Michigan sometimes.
gonna end up eating a steady diet of government cheese and living in a van down by the river.
No, I'm not interested right
Well,
now.
you're going to talk shit about the mother of my child?
Yeah,
You're not even going to come see me? You're not even going to come see me like a little man? What kind of maggot dude are you, you little cunt-ass fucking coward?
Vibe check quick.
You know what? I will pay for your ticket, Smokey. You come see me. You come see me. I will pay for your ticket, you little fucking coward.
I don't think I see that happening. I would think if you would have the money, you would provide for your child as opposed to fly me out to come and meet you.
Can you pause this? I want to give some additional context because I think people have goldfish memory. This post on his Facebook page. He invited people 4 months prior to the screenshot to go to his Facebook page. And then he had it listed, and then he claimed he didn't. And then when people bringing this into the picture here is not off limits, even for what Knock had said. So here we go. Hi, Brett.
Hey, you handsome son of a guns. What's going on?
I saw you were on. Speaking of Knock, I saw you on Knock stream last night. Was it good for you?
Yeah, it was a lovely conversation. We were talking about
I
how
listened to him blow you. He kind of sucked your dick for like a good solid 10 minutes about how great your conversations were and your questions and how you've got the biggest peepee in the whole world. It was pretty entertaining.
True, of course.
Of course. I always say I have the second largest penis in the world. The first one's Brett Keane. So, Anyway.
No, one's a telephone pole, the other's a tree. Very hard to tell the difference. Go ahead.
Yeah, it's a matter of foliage, really.
You know what's funny? I think it's easier to understand Will when he talks slower. It's like Will's voice is faster than his internet.
Are you really?
Yeah, your speech pattern, your method, your delivery, your cadence is particularly quick.
My internet can't handle my cadence.
Yes, exactly. Something like that. Yeah.
Is it stopped being choppy and cutting off and whatever? I'm trying to talk consistently now so that you can tell the difference to see if it actually cuts off.
It actually is kind of better. Yeah, it actually is.
Yeah, I had this 4-port USB hub, and I just plug it directly in instead. So that one fucking
the shows are going to take 3 times as long now.
Smokey, I don't know if you managed to find the time and the gumption to sit through that video that I was participating in, but it sounds to me like Rage mentioned 3 times that he'd like to actually be able to chat with you guys again and then get along.
That's on him.
No way that's true.
I tried that once with him recently, and he called me a piece of shit and kicked me off the stream before he'd even finished his questions. So I don't think that's going to happen. We can try it again. There's a show every Thursday. It's not going on my channel, unfortunately, this week because a Dungeons and Dragons video got flagged for organized criminal activity, which I guess, we did. Our fictional characters that we rolled did kill people. We drowned a crocodile in a barrel of alcohol, so I guess that maybe, but whatever. So it is going on Smokey's channel, so I guess it's the post Matt Powell debate stream. So other than and also I'm doing my shtick, so I guess if he wants to come into that and we could try to get along, I guess we could do that. But
Bruce just went live going, Smokey was mean to Wild Eden.
Well, yeah, no offense, Bruce, but that's because you can't say that we didn't try to play Andy and give him pretty much everything he asked for. So,
by the way, I got Bruce to admit something you might be interested in last night, Smokey.
Oh, really? Oh, do tell. What's up?
Okay, so they're talking about that death prayer thing or whatever, and I was
the imprecatory prayer, yeah.
I tried to make a point about he prayed for his own death, not other people's death.
True.
And Bruce kicked me for saying that later, but he went on to he was saying that, he basically told me that he manipulated you, thinking that the reason why he did the I'll pray the prayer with you, right? He was manipulating you to include his name, so he tricked you into praying for someone else's death. You see what I'm saying? Like he did that as a trick. So then he can go later and say you prayed for other people's death. But he but then he won't mention that he asked to pray it with you. So he's created it's a false narrative.
Exactly.
If you don't understand that he agreed to pray the prayer, it does sound like he's wishing death upon Bruce, but he really wasn't, because it was supposed to be said.
And Andy had a shit fit and fell in it too. Not to
that.
dredge this up. He did say that imprecatory prayer was all horseshit and shit, and how horrible we are for even mentioning that it might be permissible. Meanwhile, Andy left not that long ago a comment on one of our videos in the heat of the beef. Might have even been the video that we were going to take down, that he prayed for the demise of us, whatever that means. So me and Smokey. So is that not and he invoked the name of God in the comment too? Is that not an imprecatory prayer? I mean,
sounds like it. Well, I said to Bruce, like, don't you think it's wrong to manipulate Smokey into doing that, and B, manipulate your audience with this false narrative that it's like you're making it out like Smokey's wishing death upon people when he's not. Oh. And he basically rationalized it by saying it's okay because I'm exposing a bad person.
It's okay to lie.
That's what he said.
I'm only a bad person.
Same as yours, bro.
Which is what he always does. This is the thing. He's attacking a straw man, Smokey. He's constructed this evil version of me with all these spun narratives, and then he turns around and attacks it and claims it's me. It's really gross. It's duplicitous. This is why I call Bruce the amoral, duplicitous, low thinking, low character, cockroach trailer trash that he is. See, and I call him trailer trash knowing he still doesn't even live in a trailer. He lives in some sort of Frankenstein house or something that's rotting and falling apart. I don't know what it is. But aside from that, he is of that character profile. He is of that low level of cretin of society, just in terms of his behavior and demeanor. This is what he doesn't like. You see, when I talk about these peripherals, about him, calling him trailer trash and garbage of society, these are critiques not about his environment, really. They're statements about his character, and the fact that his character is in fact indeed ironically reflecting his environment. I mean, imagine my pleasant surprise to find out that Bruce, who has a garbage soul, happens to live in a garbage house. Imagine my glee of sheer absolute reflective irony in the recognition of the situation that the man is as much a piece of shit inside as he is outside. It was a wonderful moment. It was a wonderful moment for me.
Would you say Bruce is a spiritual slut?
You might, if you were so fine.
No, I can't apply that to him. Well, I would say that he is a whore, but in the sense that he's whoring himself out to try and protect damnable heretics and serve feelings instead of God. In that sense, yes, he is a whore. But in terms of like being a slut for doctrine, that would apply more to Sister Sunshine, who basically seems to shift her theology with the weather. So, you know.
Smokey, I need you to read something for me, but read it like you're talking to somebody that you really hate.
Oh, are you recording it?
We'll do it now.
Okay, what are we doing? What is it? All right, what is it?
I told you what this is for. It'll be a surprise for tomorrow night for everyone else.
Private chat.
Yeah, it is. You read it out loud like you really fucking.
Come on, dude. Really?
Why not? You said this shit before.
All right. Well, all right. Give me. I'm not. You could kind of put me on the spot. It's like one of those things you want like a delivery, and it's kind of on the spot type thing.
If you want to build up to it and use it to insult somebody in the middle of one of your tirades, we can talk about Ryan in a minute.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's not quite a 100. It's okay. I'll just do it. Okay. Okay. You hippie, liberal, fat, faggot, scum-sucking, rat roach retard. Was that good?
Thank you. Yeah, you guys will figure out why that's funny tomorrow.
Was the delivery okay?
It was good. It was better than
two, or is it good?
No, it was better than the llamas thing. No,
that's true. We did struggle. Well, by the way, when you were talking about the llamas thing, I was having a very difficult time, oddly enough, picturing what was going on in my head as to what you were making.
Should have shown you what was going to happen first.
It was very, the lines were, I think you would admit, very autistic. the script was very autistic in terms of delivery and what was being communicated. I don't think that would be up to contention. So I mean, yeah, in terms of the direction, it should have been a little more directional. I think it's your fault. I think I'm going to blame you for it.
It's Will did it. He's a poor director. Fucking kill him. You.
Aren't you people supposed to be good at this stuff?
Yeah.
I'm only 10% Jew, so I'm only 10% good at anything Jewish.
13%. Yeah, sure.
Oh, sorry.
You want to fucking? Why you bully me?
That's the rub.
Wait, I got something you can fucking rub. Shut your fucking mouth. Dirty cocksucker.
Okay. Wait. All right. I need to go back to this again. Okay,
I'm pretty excited for this Matt Powell debate, though. And then we'll finish that, and then we got to do Ryan because we got to do everything.
All right.
Or else the thumbnail is a lie.
You talk shit to my face about the mother of my child, and I will stomp your ass. How about that?
Again, duh. I mean, if a dude is too angry and he can't control his fucking anger issues, don't fucking be with a guy like that. But the point is this: how does he express that anger? Is he just cussing? Is he just like, God damn it, motherfucker? Why the fuck you gotta be stupid? Or is he getting out of the car and trying to start a fight and physically harm this human being? See, that's what you need to be watching for.
I'm not gonna do that. But why not? Are you scared? You're gonna talk about the mother of my child, and you're not even gonna screw up the crack. And are you a fucking bitch? I'm happy. You're a bitch. I'm happy. Fucking bitch. I'm happy to. I have the high bitch because you can't compete with wits. You're a bitch.
Yeah, but at least people can go past 50
you don't
miles.
have a penis.
You can't even go past 50 miles, bro. You can't even go to Chicago. Like, come on.
I have life. I have things to do. I have responsibilities. Oh, you have. I don't.
Let's skip forward a bit.
Put out there.
Hey, Beckle, is Smokey calling the mother of my? Do it through live streams anymore. I buried that. I'm going to do it.
There we go.
Earth-shaking sex with an atheist that studied the Karma Sutra and has practiced Tantra and understands the human energy system.
All right, so he's doing all these videos to a bunch of young, chaste women in the faith, talking about how he wants to do unwanted sexual acts to them. How he has not been Me Too'd at this point just freaking staggers me. The fact that he's a liberal and he talks
because
about
nobody wants to engage with sexually over the internet, even in text. That's why.
Yeah, that's true. And so now what he does is he spends
physically interested.
He has dozens of these videos talking about wanting to do disgusting, perverted, unwanted sexual things to these young women who are basically doing videos online about chastity and good Christian ethics and virtue. He just decides.
You think his baby mama left him because he's such a impressive sex machine? She just got tired of all the amazing sex.
Knock, I'm going to give you a tip because I think what Knock needs is to get laid and find a good woman that can like fucking mellow him out a little bit. Here's the thing. There's a difference between a cervix and a clitoris. And I don't know if you know that, but just because you hit it from the back doesn't mean that it's good, you fucking moron. Not that you can reach that far, but I imagine you've got some sort of what they would call in Christian circles a marital aid, sort of a strap on above the official member, if you will, an artificial, what's the word? Cock. So, yeah, that's a free one for you. My office is always open. Please send death threats to thekinkmedia@gmail.com. It's KINC@gmail.com. And same for you, Guru. Death threats and care packages. Let's do Ryan now. Let's do Ryan.
Okay. So I'm not going to put the actual thing on the screen, but I am going to read it.
If we have to, we will. Smoker's just making it up.
Well, if it ultimately comes, well, first of all, Ryan is a dum-dum, and yeah, you know what? I'm not going to put his email like physically on the screen because, first, he'll bitch and moan about that anyway. And second of all,
bitch and moan anyway.
Okay. Well, I mean, I can put it on the screen. I guess it's just going to put his email address and stuff out.
It's fucking up to you. I mean, legal says that that's fine. We've already had this discussion once before, whether you or private message.
All right. Well, that's fine. Yeah, no, I'll go ahead and show it then. So what this is Ryan. Now, this is actually in a funny way. Let me give you some pretense here. In a roundabout way, this is actually pretty hilarious. Ryan seems to have almost convinced himself of the things that he himself has made up. It's actually kind of comical. He's actually kind of taken some things that he even knew were false that like he had made up to like attack me. And now he's basically just operating with this. This is what actually happened.
Drank his own Kool-Aid, huh?
He drank his own Kool-Aid. And so now he's throwing this at
his own ice cream.
He's throwing this at me in this email. And here, I'll show the email. Okay, so here we go.
Yeah, it doesn't show his actual address anyway, so.
Oh, good. Oh, yep, you're right. Okay. So justification is apparently the title of it. And says, now he's calling me Josh, not me, but of course he has to try and sell this because he spent a lot of effort and time with Thick Shades on this to attempting to dox me. So he has to really, really keep trying to sell this.
Notice how he said attempting, not actually.
Yeah. It's like him and Thicky are the only ones still even trying to push this at this point. It's actually that in and of itself is tragic, especially since this is coming from the dead sheriff who lasted one day and now is just basically slinked off into irrelevance and hiding, not even making videos or streams fucking right now out of sheer shame.
Smokey is Texas Red or something.
It says, I find it very odd the dude had to educate you on the subject. And by the way, the sentence structure, I feel like he's either on drugs or he's just having a moment. He's having some sort of like brain seizure.
This email was co-written by 12-year-old Brett Keane.
Right. Listen to this sentence structure just up here at the beginning. Listen to this. He says, I find it very odd the dude had to educate you on the subject, seeing as we on the subject purposely had extensive discussions. What the hell
fuck does any of that mean?
What the hell does that sentence mean? Moving on. Are you a bisexual atheist disguised as a Christian to make of the online curious of Christians a mockery? What is this sentence?
What does that mean?
What is this?
What the hell is a Falcon? What's going on?
One more time. One more time.
Well, it's definitely written in a form of Chinese for sure, but it appears though he's asking if you're a parody pretending to be a Christian just to cause trouble.
Is that what he means? Do we have the Ryan Whisperer now?
What is happening? Bisexual atheist disguised as a Christian to make of the online curious of Christians a mockery. That's not a sentence.
Of the online
insanity.
Hold on. Of the. Oh, I'm sorry. Let me start.
All right, we can't spend too much time on every line, or
I know, but listen.
It's not going to make sense. You probably should stop trying. Maybe Brett's got it close enough.
Make of the online curious of Christians a mockery.
What? Well, Smokey and Will, the next time someone asks you if you're bisexual, say yes. Buy me something. I can get real sexual.
So, all right,
why don't you stick your head up your ass and fight for air?
Says, who, if any, set you to this task? Did you steal somebody's identity? Let's note. Okay, here we go. So, number one, you partnered. Here we go. You partnered with a complete derelict Antichrist Kincaid.
That's me.
The one in your very stream you branded an odious troll. You despise, yet nutritious in attacking the rage. Nutritious. That was an interesting word.
Hold on. I got to cut this out. Nutritious
in
attacking the rage.
What the hell is going on?
What am I, full of vitamins? What is what is happening?
Moving on. Saying never when attacking the rage, never was evangelism in your scheme. Need we mention your obsession with his daughter? Okay. Well, Knock could have kept his daughter out of this whole environment, not invited everyone to his Facebook page
by not fucking mentioning her.
And not mentioning her and not dragging her into this toxic environment. Good to know that you're also trying to moonlight for the grifting sack of subhuman crap while he opportunistically tries to use his daughter, Ryan. I actually would expect that of you, Ryan. That is something I would expect of you. Okay, number 2, you have been dishonest regarding your name. No crap. Says you insisted I refrain from calling you Josh. I didn't insist. I just tell you it's not my name. Your given name you also gave to Whitmire or Maddox. Like, well, Whitmire or he says or. Well, why would you not know which one I gave it to? Wait, so I gave it to one or the other, but he knows I gave it to one of them? What? I know you gave it to one of them. I'm not sure which one, but you gave it also to what?
I don't know what's going on.
Dude, no one has gotten this name, Ryan. You are the only one that has invented this because you are desperate for this narrative, dude.
His name is Ryan the Presbyterian, and he might be a pedophile. He kind of said he was.
Oh, dude, I have the slide, I think. Yeah, this is allegedly, of course. You know, we say that for.
I think he said he was, but I can't be sure anymore because we've done
allegedly. Allegedly, he's 1 year older or 1 year younger, but of course he won't show his redacted ID to prove it or anything. So
just a picture of his face with his birthday, and then we wouldn't share that. I've been on Smokey's docs and Knox. Everyone's fucking docs for years now.
Everyone's docs. Well, God, everyone's docs. Anyway,
people send me horse shit all the time. It's not like I'm gonna, but whatever. Sure.
So, number 3, you constantly lie, such as about your age. True, I've also lied about my birthday. That's a fact. That is a fact. Says you screamed out you are in Desert Palm Springs. This isn't a city. This isn't actually a city anywhere around here. That doesn't exist. That's not a thing.
Desert Palm Springs is not a place.
That's not a thing. That's not a city out here at all. That's not a city. I'm not kidding. I dare you right now, go type in to Google Maps and type in Desert Palm Springs and
we built this city.
I dare you to find a city.
Ryan's lies.
I dare you to find a city anywhere in the Coachella Valley, and the Coachella Valley is a huge area. I dare you to find anywhere in the Coachella Valley with a city that has that name. And by the way, I've actually shouted out that I live in Palm Desert, Desert Hot Springs, and also Yucca Valley. And by the way, those are all actually pretty much, yes, they are true, accurate statements. I do have places that I visit and or stay in each one of these locations. So that is actually true.
You guys want to see some nightmare fuel? This is an artist rendering of Ryan the Presbyterian. I don't know why they put this. It's fucking horrific.
That's funny. Yeah. So on your street, so just Ryan can't get anything straight. I feel like he's just having like a seizure or a moment here or something. Says you screamed out you are in desert. You're in this fictional place that doesn't exist. Place you said, Smokey, on your stream to Andy Jack to meet you for fisticuffs. Yet threatened to sue me for doxing. I never did. I left you. You did try to. You did. You have tried to, Ryan. You're still trying to. Literally with the email, you're still trying to.
Yeah.
You're still trying to insinuate that I am Josh. You're still trying to play this game.
Yeah, because in a court of law, establishing intent is a key motivating factor for whether they rule in favor or against. And
I left you alone. That's a lie. That's a lie. He worked with Thicky to basically try and dox me. He also did a video not too long ago trying to show people how to get some, I don't even know, Freedom of Information Act on some guy that isn't even me. Yeah, like some guy like, here, I can get a file jacket on this guy that we already know isn't Smokey. Here, you want this? It's like, really, dude? Anyway, I left you alone. That's a lie. You went on the warpath. That's a lie. It reminded me of an old angry queer. Now, I guess Ryan would be familiar with and know a lot of old angry queers to where maybe he might have a certain level of intimate familiarity with how they would conduct themselves. I, however, do not actually have a frame of reference for old angry queers because I tend to avoid them. So I wouldn't have a real solid frame of reference as to them and their collective behavior and what they're like reactionary wise. Ryan, however, seems to have some relatively intimate knowledge on the subject. I wonder why. Interesting. Okay. So number 5, you showed your face on SFTV's channel. Yeah, I may or may not. That's still yet up to incredulity, actually. Channel begged me never to reveal you were on Jesse Lee Peterson's channel. That's literally not true. I literally announced it on streams multiple times. Multiple times. In fact, I was gleed when Ronnie took the time to go sifting through a bunch of videos to try and find someone that he thought kind of looked like me. It was a gem. It was an absolute freaking gem. Why would I beg him to not reveal something that I myself volunteered and announced on my stream as a meme? You guys saw it. That's how Rage got a hold of it. How?
I don't.
How are you? See, this is the thing. He's drunk his own Kool-Aid. Like, he's even forgotten, because he's so stupid, he's even forgotten all the things we've already revealed, exposed, and clarified. And now he's just drank his own Kool-Aid and he's just committed. He's just, even when it's a blatant, like, absolute, like, provable historical lie, he doesn't even care. He doesn't even care. He just completely will dig in deep and drink his own Kool-Aid. It's absolutely astounding.
I'm coming just thinking about it. All right. So
yeah.
what?
Says to myself and Whitmire, then on your own channel where you admitted your public number you gave me is also Josh Herbal's number. From him is California real estate sales license, a public domain document. And yeah, none of that is accurate. Ryan got a phone number that had a name on it that he just went out looking for variants of until he found someone that looked like me with something online and then ran with it. He got a name. He couldn't tell what it was. He heard it in the message, and then he just started typing in all sorts of phonetic variants of it until he found something, and then him and Thicky just ran with it. So this is why Will Kincaid and I did this. We just played the exact same game that they did, and they don't want to address this, but they want to keep trying to force me to try to address the other ridiculous thing that they did. This is why we pointed out, this is why we did this, for the sake of the pure, disgusting, stupid, idiotic hypocrisy these people engaged in. There you go. So,
hey, Smokey and Will, can I try something real quick?
Sure.
Yep.
Put that image up real quick, and you guys can use this for a hit on one of your podcasts if you want. I got to do this, Smokey, even though this was meant for you from Will. Here you go. You hippie, liberal, fat, faggot, scum, sucking rat, roach, retard.
Well played. Nice. Outstanding. Good stuff.
We got
okay, moving on. Number 6, you may or may not. God, it's always this may or may not. I don't really know, but I'm going to put it in here. You may or may not have had private calls with the people you slandered based on rumors I hear, though to I never having done you harm, you refuse to speak. Well, that's just a useless sentence, is what that is.
It sounds like he's trying to speak in iambic pentameter, but he has no idea what that means.
This was, by the way, this was one of the most painful emails I've ever received. Like, in terms of just the comical failure of it all, like not even paying attention to anything that's happened, anything that's been clarified. He knows the lies he told, and apparently that's all he works off of. Even when he's been refuted, even when he's been shown to be an absolute liar, blatantly lying against the receipts that I provided, he still holds the narrative. Ryan is a complete and utter waste of time. A waste of mental space, a waste of consideration. What a complete and utter joke. The dead sheriff. The sheriff dead for a day. Had to come into the environment and have such a hard hand that anyone that was not going to denounce Smokey was going to have to be banned from the environment, coming in like the frickin', brown-shirted Nazi Gestapo to come in and try and make sure there can be no pro-Smokey talk allowed in the environment whatsoever. What an absolute scum roach.
Not just no pro-Smokey talk. This guy actively did not want to engage in conversation with anyone about anything other than fuck Smokey. If you didn't if that wasn't all you wanted to talk about day and night, then you're just verboten. You're born.
Pretty much.
I want to read the bottom line of the email.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Yeah. Oops. Sorry. Sorry. Okay. My bad. Sorry.
I wasn't in the room for that.
Sorry. Okay. All right. So anyway, number 7.
Oh yeah, sorry, I forgot.
Okay, so here we go. This is a good one too, by the way. Number 6 was a gem, but check this one out. It says, you have to violent, lurching mood swings as though you were on drugs, says after this email. Some others seem to also notice you're like a different person all of the sudden after walking away for a moment. Yeah. Maybe if I get excited and someone triggers my emotional state and frustration with their particular brand of retardation, and then I'll you know what, I'm going to take a break for a second and get some fresh air and take a deep breath, and I come back and settle myself. I think that's what normal, functional, emotionally stable human beings should be able to do.
Because the problem is that people get emotional. The important thing is that when your emotions run high, to recognize that that's happening and then do something about it like a fucking adult.
Yes. So because I would
Wild
take
Eden,
a break.
By the way, I don't know. Oh, sorry.
Right.
I was just going to say, it's okay. I did with Wild Eden yesterday.
Because I would act like an. Okay. You finish your thing.
I think I'm lagged. That's why we're doing the stepping. Yesterday or the night before, I went on the Versus stream and I apologized to Wild Eden for telling her to kill herself, which it was something that I said yesterday, but that stream is gone because of antics that we're trying to pull off.
It'll come back if the antics get pulled off. I'll bring it back if the antics.
Yeah, and it's I got mad. I told her to go kill herself, and then I felt bad about it later, and I saw an opportunity to apologize, and then I did. Just for that, though. Nothing else I said, by the way.
Nothing else. Yeah. Anyway, okay. So,
but yeah.
There we go. Violent lurching mood swing stuff. Okay, so it says, why do you not reveal to the community your true identity? Admit whatever you're done that... Jeez, I'm having a hard time. Admit whatever you see, that's not where you put a conjunction anyway there. Admit whatever you're done and that you aren't a Christian, or that provided you're a novice, ? You are the kid in the class that belts, I don't know, when asked the most elementary questions, even of name.
I'm gonna read that one more time. I'm gonna read it so that everybody.
Why do you not reveal
to the community your true identity? Admit whatever you're done, and you aren't a Christian, or that, provided you are, you're a novice. I'm sorry, you're a novice.
There you go. You have to have the upward inflection.
Yeah. You are the kid in class that belts. I don't know when asked the most elementary questions, even of name. Clap for that, you stupid bastard. Sorry.
I need to add that one. I need to add that one into my StreamYards. Actually, that is a good one.
I can edit that out.
So what do you do? I mean, at this point, I've basically relegated Ryan to the pile of losers. He had his chance. He actually did have his chance. He had his chance when he manipulated praise and he took control of the environment. Frankly, had he handled himself with a little bit more of an even hand, he might have actually been able to make it work for at least more than one freaking day. but he couldn't.
And I
because Ryan
get away with it too if it wasn't for you meddling Christians.
Ryan is a horrible, disgusting, amoral fraud, and he is a reprehensible trash soul of a man. He's particularly stupid. He's particularly duplicitous. He is particularly evil, and he is out for nothing other than to worship, inspire, and chase after his own hatred. And you know what? If this hasn't sold it to you guys at this point, having seen all of this retard's antics, then I don't know what will. I can't help you. I mean, this guy is completely out in left field.
Anyway. And I think that was pretty much it. I checked the thumbnail.
I guess that was it.
There's nothing else that we haven't touched. I guess we could wait for Brett to get back and then wrap it up if we don't have any. We're watching Come in the Room.
Yeah, I don't have anything else. I have work to do today. I got stuff to do for sure. Yeah, I guess that was it. I think of any final thoughts or statements. Yeah, don't help grifters. Do me a favor. Don't come in here and try to moralize to me if you're helping or trying to help or condoning grifting scumbags like the Rage. Just don't bother. Don't bother. If that's going to be your moral foundation you're beginning with, like the dumb bitch Eden, you're going to be better off not wasting your time. Okay? Like this, the idea of, oh, how dare you make a horrible person feel horrible? You know what? This is not a language I understand. You're not going to win any points with me on this. Okay? Eden knows what Eden has chosen to be in this environment and chosen to represent and chosen to support. Okay. I'm not going to ignore all that. Okay. Eden shows that she is an absolute sack of subhuman trash by what she decides to promote and support and speak against. Okay. Now that is just the nature of affairs. I'm sorry you guys don't like being told that and you're worried about her sensitive feels being bothered because she might possibly recognize the reprehensible, disgusting cockroach that she is. No. You see, that's the whole point. That's the whole point. Eden thinking that she's decent. Eden thinking that she's moral. Eden thinking that supporting the Rage is actually in the spectrum of goodness. You know, this is not someone that is worthy of any level of emotional consideration or respect whatsoever. They are legitimately the cancer of society and a danger to people's souls, both personal physical benefit and spiritual benefit. So I'm not going to accept any of these ridiculous, stupid pleas of moralizing from people who have no moral framework to operate from to begin with. You can go shove it, much like Rob Reed and his failures of pontification against me. What else? Ronnie's a retard. If you are condoning his actions of dragging his daughter into this environment, particularly using her as emotional leverage for financial gain, you're a ridiculous, horrible scumbag of humanity as well. What else? Bruce, you're a feelings worshipping sycophantic sack of trash yourself. You'd help validate people down to the pit of hell because you prioritize people's feelings rather than their correction, which ultimately lead to the salvation of their souls because you yourself are on the outs with God. You are a lukewarm, fence-sitting trash man, a garbage soul of garbage character who is attempting to ignore your own accountability while you try to help others ignore their accountability as well. You are gross. You are reprehensible. You make me sick to my stomach to even hear you dare attempt to moralize on pontificate while you are a hypocritical assisting in the soul murder, Bruce, by allowing these people to tacitly worship and focus on their emotional states rather than any level of correction for their errors that could cause them to face eternal damnation. So you Bruce, while you're not as bad as Andy trying to go out there and actually lead with false doctrines and murder souls, you are implicitly assisting the people that are. You are telling everyone to be nice and coddling and accommodating and welcoming and accepting to all of these damnable, rancid, horrendous heretics. You are the watchman at the wall that has fallen asleep You are counterproductive to the work of helping protect the flock and sound doctrine. And that is why you have chosen to basically make yourself an enemy, Bruce, because Christ himself said, if you are not for me, you are against me. And you sitting on the fence makes you an enemy, Bruce. That's what Christ said. And that's where you're relegated. That's where you belong until you repent, recognize these disgusting, ridiculous errors of emotion worship. You are going to be on the outs with me. And I don't give a flying crap what you think about anything or what I do. I think that's everything. I think I said it all.
Jill, you know what's sad about the Hunter Biden thing is that he'll probably get ran up the flagpole for saying the N-word, but not for beating off on camera with his cousin. Well, he was doing blow and everything else. Yeah, his laptops won't get him put in jail, but God damn it, they'll find a way to put him in jail for saying the N-word.
Yeah.
That's rough.
All right, any final thoughts?
Tell us how you really feel, huh?
Oh, I think I've been pretty thorough at this point. Yeah. And go listen to it a couple more times if they're confused. Yeah, I guess that's all I had. Andy's kid was still in the back studio, but he's been disconnected from the cam, so I just didn't have him in the room. But he's been listening the whole time. Andy's kid, we would hope that your dad would repent of his damnable, disgusting heresies of universalism so that he doesn't potentially lose his soul or convince others to lose their soul as well. That's our issue with Andy Cap. If he was asked,
get on it, Andy 2.
So that you, Andy 2.0.
Junior.
Andy Junior 2.0, yeah. So that's our whole issue with him. We don't want him using emotional leverage to try and convince people to rebel against Scripture with the statement that all people are going to be saved, including Satan. I got a real problem with that. So,
anyway, wish I have no opinion on it, Andy 2.
Well, you don't, but I'm obligated through passages and
I tried to do Andy a solid, and then whatever.
I know it failed bad.
It is what it is.
Bad. Yeah, it is what it is. Okay, well, I guess we're done then. Thank you to the mods. Thank you to the chat. Thank you to participants. Thank you for the people that watched. It's good stuff. I'm happy.
Show tomorrow is going to be a late show. It's going to be probably 11 p.m. Eastern, and it'll go till probably 1 o'clock in the morning on Friday. So,
and that is the after show. That is the after show.
It's going to start out as my show, and then it'll devolve into an after show when you finally get all good and dorn.
So I'm debating tomorrow night. And then after that debate, I'm coming over to the show that will already have commenced, which will be on, I guess, this channel. This my channel, right? This channel.
Right. And where's the Matt Powell debate tomorrow?
SFT's channel, Standing for Truth's channel. Yeah. So if you haven't set your notifications, go do that now. Yep, absolutely. And then I guess after that, I'm going to come over here and then join this show, and then it'll transition into a after show situation. Okay. So and the thumbnail is epic. I love the thumbnail. I feel like if he puts it on the freaking store, I'm going to order it as a poster. I'm going to have to.
I got to start because some people have been like, "Hey, I want a poster of that."
Oh, I want the posters of these thumbnails you make, Kincaid.
I think I'm gonna do that one too as a poster.
That'd be fun.
The album cover.
I just think like have you like just next to them both with your thumbs up, like just have that like a poster, like.
It's just a poster of my
That's
face.
my real dad.
Teach the trans about it, Leviticus. I'll get right on that.
Outstanding. All right, everyone. Have a good evening. Peace of Christ to all the true saints. We're leaving. Can you just
bye?
Can you just go?
Can you go?